Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the final HorrorBuzz live of probably one of the craziest years possible. And that was a little mistake, a little surprise right there. Yes, okay, so here we go. We have a bunch of people popping in to say hello tonight. A bunch of people from all over the team, and a few nice little surprises. We're gonna go over the best and the worst of this past year, and we are encouraging libations as we go. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Also, go over to our little Patreon page and, I don't know, throw some change if you want. Follow us also on social, Twitter, Facebook, Insta, and there you go. And without any further ado, we are going to bring in the lovely Lindsay.
Hey guys!
Lindsay, how are you?
Well, full disclosure, I am a little sick. It's not the Rona.
It's not the Rona, okay.
It's not the Rona. But in true Lindsay fashion, I have to close out the year with some kind of final crisis. So it's a little bit of a cold, but other than that, I'm okay. I don't have libations. I'm drinking like stale water. I found this in my room, and I don't know how long it's been there,
Stale.
But it's a little stale.
Aged. Got it. Well, I know that it's like the end of the year here, and we're not really being encouraged to go anywhere, do things. But is there anything to do? Do you have any ideas?
So it is a little scant in terms of events, at least where we are for sure in Southern California. The event world is really hard, very downplayed. We're being told to not do events. There were a ton of events that were supposed to happen locally, like different houses. There's these beautiful mansions that always set these themed parties. They've been canceled. So pretty much everything is being moved into a virtual realm. The OC Fair I mentioned last week is doing their Night of Lights. They are running shows on New Year's Eve. So if you want to drive through and experience Christmas lights, you can do that. And Norm, I know you mentioned driving through Six Flags, which is pretty cool. They are doing that as well on New Year's Eve.
It's so weird. It's so weird. You got to go do it. It was
so
really
not
cool.
To miss. And if you want to end 2020 on a kind of cool note, you can drive through a theme park. And there's actually a lot of online things at different companies that typically do something in person. They've kind of gone to something. You can obviously watch the traditional ABC Times Square drop if that's your bag. But you can also check out Snoop Dogg, who is doing a virtual New Year's Eve special. He's doing live performances and has guests and things like that. Christopher Titus and Rachel Bradley are two comedians that are doing a comedy show, and they have like a variety evening planned. So there's a lot of different options for online, and that's what I recommend this year, just because we really don't know what's going on. We don't know how safe things are. There are some in-person events, but I'm not going to personally recommend them because I know we have a lot of different cases that are, I mean, we've hit 2 million cases here in California. So
yeah,
Google them.
We're kind of a hot spot.
Yeah, we are. So the online world is booming with events. I'm going to be doing the Snoop Dogg one. So if you guys want to hang out where I am, I'm going to be watching the Snoop Dogg event. But take your pick. There's something for everybody.
That one sounds pretty amazing. I know that you don't feel all that well, so please stick around as long as you feel comfortable. But listen, I got to tell you, thank you so much for everything you've done so far in bringing us all the news and information and the events and everything like that. Yeah, just thank you for doing what you do, Lindsay.
Thanks. Do it for you guys and for me, because I like knowing things too.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, hey, okay. Let's talk movies. And we are going to bring in two amazing critics. Adrian! We finally got you on HorrorBuzz Live! And Remy! Hey!
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Are we tapping in your OnlyFans thing? What is this? What's going on?
I'm sorry.
Well, cheers, ladies. So lovely to have you here and to have survived 2020. Look at her. She's got a whole.
I know, straight up bottle, not even.
So, let's
no
talk
glass.
let's talk our favorite movies. Since we're kind of the movie crew here. And actually, you know what? Let's bring in Skix. Skix, do you want to come in or no? Okay, come on in. The water's fine.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
These are the movie critic people on the site. And earlier in the year, Skix joined me up at Sundance, and
It was cold.
it was cold, but you know what? It was nice. It was nice. But yeah. So let's talk movies. What were some of your guys' favorite films this year?
Well, there's mostly like indie movies. Obviously, there weren't any like theatrical, or not much theatrical stuff going on. So it was an eclectic mix of stuff that came out this year that came my way anyway. So it was like a mix of sci-fi, a lot of quarantine and pandemic themed horror stuff going on. So like the zeitgeist is seeping into film as it usually does. So one of my favorite ones recently from like the indie ones was this one that was called Takeout Girl. So that one was based out in our area in LA. So that one wasn't even really like a horror, but it was more like an urban thriller, crime thriller. So that one was fun. That one had a really diverse cast too. So that's not something you see too often enough. So that one was good. And then there's this one that was more of like one of those thrillers that gives you like chills. It's set in the forest. It's called Hunter x Hunter. So I really like that one too. That one was like a creature, like a animal kind of one that was mixed with a stalker kind of things going on. So
yeah, I actually got to see that one too. That was a good one.
Yeah, that one was really good. It was surprisingly good. I didn't really know what to expect from it. So it's always nice to have pleasant surprises sneak in there.
Lindsay, Skix, Ram, anything did you see?
I've been really bad about watching new movies this year, but I will just talk about the last thing I reviewed for HorrorBuzz because I actually liked it. I liked it, and here I am recommending it to you. So to whoever made that movie, good job. You kept me entertained for about 80 minutes.
Movie?
What's it called? What Lies Below. I keep wanting to call it What Lies Beneath, but that's a different thing. It's called What Lies Below, and it it has a very simple plot, but they just do a really good job with it, and they are really good at it. Builds suspense really well, and I don't know. It's just a good. I mean, it's one of those like. Mom gets new boyfriend, kids think new boyfriend is fucked up, turns out new boyfriend is after all, and hilarity ensues, right? So it was one of those. But they just did a really good, I don't want to spoil it, but they did a really good job with it. And
Excellent.
I wrote a review of it. If you go to horrorbuzz.com, you can find it. I think.
And search for What Lies Below.
Yes.
Not What Lies Beneath.
Yeah.
Skix?
I liked a lot of what I reviewed. Let's see. One thing that surprised me this year was The Color Out of Space, starring Nicolas Cage. I mean, you say H.P. Lovecraft, Nicolas Cage, you're going to expect a terrible film. And maybe it's because my expectations were so very, very low, but I actually found it really enjoyable. Also, I am easily swayed, so I also got to interview one of the performers, and that generally makes me feel better about a film. It seemed like they had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to what they do next. They have some other plans.
Sweet. Lindsay, what about you?
Yeah, I had a couple different favorites. I really, really enjoyed The Devil to Pay. It was this gritty backwoods revenge story, and it takes place in the Appalachia, or I know there's like two different ways to say it, whatever one's right, mountains. And the setting, the scenery was just so like beautiful, and the cast is really tiny. And when the casts are really well, there goes my other earbud. When the casts are really small like that, you rely so much on the actual talent of the cast, and they just crushed. It was so engaging, and I loved it. And I also really liked Mass Hysteria. It's this like super cheeky zombie witch hunt tale. It was very like a la Shaun of the Dead. A lot of the cinematography kind of mirrored that. And they were really self-aware, and I'm a big fan of that. And I was actually laughing out loud, and it was a great time. But I think my favorite, it was actually a short film, and it was recent. It was The Killer of Grassy Ridge. And that one, it's 10 minutes, but like by the end, I was like, oh, damn. And if a movie can make me do that, we watch so many movies, and it's really hard to get that kind of reaction and in such a short amount of time. And it's incredible. And it's free on Prime, so everybody should go watch it. And I'll say this, that film is proof that anybody, if you have a good idea, you can be a filmmaker. So the director of that short film, he said, I wanted to do this as proof to myself that I could make a beautiful film on a shoestring budget, and that is exactly what he did. So Killer of Grassy Ridge, watch it.
Excellent. Well, I think my favorite horror film of this past year was, and it was a tough one because there were a bunch of good ones, and then there were like a handful of amazing ones. And I think this year it was Possessor, the Brandon Cronenberg film, and I happen to have the trailer right here. Would you like to see it?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
Red Band.
Yes.
Let's go.
Getting done.
Yeah,
That was fucking sick, dude.
That was great.
yeah, that one was
Wait,
pretty
where can I
amazing.
find it?
That one was pretty amazing.
Where do I find it?
Well, you can find it streaming. And basically, it's about a corporate assassin. It's like kind of in the future where people are hired to inhabit other people's bodies and commit murder for corporate gain. And of course, something goes horribly wrong, and it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Hilarity ensues.
Yes. So, but
Corporate
yeah, so
assassination.
those are some of our picks for this year, and yeah. So, if you want to hang out for a bit, we're going to move on, but we'll be right back with you guys, and we'll welcome in some of our other dear friends here. In fact, Eric and Amantha, they're here.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. Amantha has something to drink.
Oh my. Well, look
My
at her.
libations by the fire.
Your Yuletide cheer.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how did horror movie night go the other night?
Oh my gosh, it went really well. We've had some good events the past couple of months with horror movie night, partnering with the Frida Cinema out in Tustin at the, what do they call it? The mess hall. The mess hall. So was it the drive-in dine-in? Yeah. drive
drive and dine out.
Yeah, at the mess hall in Tustin. Our last event we had was outstanding. We had a good group of
we had a really good turnout.
There. Yeah, we had a really good turnout. Everybody we came across was really excited to be there. What else would you say?
Yeah, we had a couple of good features and we showed a couple of really good shorts, which was the first time we showed 2 Screaming Room shorts.
Yep.
So we did one before each
Awesome.
feature. So it went really well.
Yeah.
I think everyone had a good time.
Yeah.
What do we have going on next month?
Well, coming up in January, we have another double feature. We're doing a double feature of Basket Case and Brain Damage, which should be a
lot of fun for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
And we're very excited about the short film that we're showing, which we're doing another first here. We're going to be showing a film that was submitted for last year's Screaming Room, which unfortunately we weren't able to have Midsummer Scream, and so that's been pushed on to this next summer. So all the films that were submitted last year, included with the ones that are being submitted this year, are all under consideration. And this film is one that's really just stood out to us, and we thought was a perfect matchup for this.
Wait a minute. Did you say? Oh God, you did say it, didn't you? Midsummer Scream.
Right. Yes.
Uh-oh. You know what that does? That summons Rick West.
Wow, that's like summoning the Rick demon. That's great. Poof! Hello!
That's him there. He's swirling around.
This presence will occur in some fashion.
I'm not going to be done up here. I'm not going to be overdone here. So. It's the battle of the bottles here tonight,
Maybe we
kids.
didn't say the right.
You know what?
word.
It's you are going to have the worst hangover, Rick. I swear to drinking that. Are you serious?
Oh no, dude, no, I'm actually drinking that. That was just a sip. So, but
yeah.
Wait, before I forget though, I know this is like not my show and tell, but it is my show and tell. I have the coolest bottle out of anyone. I automatically win. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, you do.
Is that the coolest little bottle? It's a tequila bottle. How cool is that little dude?
You
But
actually.
I'm not going to drink it.
No.
It's awesome.
Yes.
How
Agreed.
cool is that?
It's super cool. Have
It's
you, Rick?
it's hard to find. You get it at Total Wine at Halloween time, and then it's gone.
And then it vanishes just like a ghost.
Just like a ghost.
Did you get a chance to pop into the Screaming Room or did you see some of the fabulous little shorts that we had?
I haven't. I haven't yet. But I wanted to chime in. I saw the scariest movie of the year was Wonder Woman 84, and so there you go. That was pretty terrifying.
What was so frightening about that?
It was just bad. I'm just being cheeky. It was horrifying.
So
it was right in line with 2020.
That's too bad. But Eric, Amantha, what are we going to be showing from the Screaming Room for January? What are we going to be doing there?
So we're going to be showing a film called I got to remember the title because it's a long.
It is
titled. It's Wally and. Oh, I'm blanking on the middle of the title.
Something warped.
Well, maybe people just have to come out and watch it.
You have to come out and see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
See it for yourself.
You have to come see it for yourself anyway.
And when is that?
It will be
Friday, January 22nd.
Friday, January 22nd.
Yes. And so like always, you want to make sure to get there early to get a good spot. The gates open at 5:00. The pre-show begins at 7.
Yes.
Well,
you cannot miss the pre-shows.
No, the pre-shows are actually as good as the film. Sometimes.
Yeah, I like to think so.
I mean, well, most of the time. But like for me, like Halloween, being that's my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, the booze is kicking in. Sorry. So there you go. Friday, January 20. We moved to Fridays now, and so there you go. That's what we're doing. Rick, will you ever come down and have a little bit of fun with us at the drive-in?
I will. Admittedly, I have become pretty much the hermit these days. I'm bunkered and hunkered and wearing a mask and staying safe here in Pasadena for the most part. So it's like I say with everything, we'll see how the curve goes. I really am afraid. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I really am afraid we're going to have a really nasty spike following the Christmas holiday. But we shall see. But yes, when things start returning to normal, and they will, yes, I would definitely come down.
You guys, I have to point something out. One of my other favorite people and one of the best haunters is here. Pete!
Hello there. Hi. Sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties there. I'll blame COVID for that. So since we're all blaming COVID for everything else, I'll blame it on that too.
Rick,
so, hello everybody. Hello.
We know Pete, right? Pete from
Yes, of course.
Winchester Mystery House fame, and
of course.
Some really cool stuff coming up this year. Yeah, so there you go. So Eric and Amantha, we peace out for just a bit and hold tight. Okay. We'll all come back and hang out and have some fun. And we'll be right back. Okay, guys? Okay, cool. Okay, so Pete and Rick, let's talk haunts.
Okay.
Best and worst of this year, aside from the fact that we didn't have much.
Well, I won't. I honestly said that this year has been for me, I'll cover Northern California, and the main point is the fact that I didn't get out much because we're taking our lockdown very, very seriously out here. But I do want to throw out some howdy doos and some kudos to several haunters out there who are moving ever forward with their haunts, including the folks out at Nightmare Island over here in Vallejo. They're doing their own best to keep things going. So all of that crew, hello. Pirates of Emerson managed to do a drive-through haunt this year that seemed to actually work out quite well. There was there was some discussion of whether or not drive-through haunts would be a thing or not, because there was a lot of rumors about there could be some safety issues and that kind of thing. But in the end, it sounded like it was pretty successful. Members of my crew went through and they said it was actually very, very delightful. So from what I've seen there, and from what I've heard, the Terror Vault, one of my favorites in San Francisco, run by Peaches Christ, is really going well. They're basically just bunkered down and decided to build 2021 show. They just kind of gave up on 2020 and said, we're just going to sit here and just build and make next year's show even better. So for everybody out there in Northern California Haunterland, please stay safe out there. But I'm really, really glad that everybody's just holding tight and keeping the faith and staying together as a community, because that's one of the things that I really appreciate about the haunters community out here.
Absolutely. I mean, we easily have one of the best communities around. I mean, and Rick,
bar none. Yep, bar none.
You know all about that one. And you guys, this is Skix. Skix, from the film team, is also a haunter.
Yes.
From Salt Lake City. And Skix, why don't you tell us what you did back at the end of May?
Right. Well, I am a manager at Fear Factory in Salt Lake City, which is huge. And Salt Lake City, for whatever reason, is very big on haunted houses. So we did our best to have the show there, but we were ready, like right up to the last minute to get canceled. But we worked with the health department. We followed guidelines. We kept the group separated by like a minute apart going in. They only went in with their own group. Everyone had to be masked. We had sanitizing stations throughout, temperature checks. The staff were also kept separated backstage, and throughout. It was very weird. Oh, and our characters all had lower face masks with fabric inside.
Oh, cool.
And our makeup and mask team were very creative. We had some really fun designs. So we pulled it off. There was no outbreak that was traced to us, either staff or guests. And now, a couple months later, our city is doing very badly, and I don't think we'd be able to do it again if we were going to do it now. But hopefully next year. We're planning on next year.
Mm-hmm. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
They when they said, "Oh, we're going to do our mid-year show," I jumped on and I was able to interview the managers and the owner, and Skix pointed it out to me, and it was fascinating how they pulled it off. You guys pulled back on the up close scares, and you how did you pull off scares?
In addition to other stuff, I'm the actor trainer as well, and so we did some brainstorming and some like R&D on various ways to adapt our performances. So we had to cut back on a lot of dialogue because with a mask, not everyone can project in a way that works through a mask. That's a specialized skill that we actually spent some time developing as well. And everyone had to keep 6 feet from the guests. But if you move fast enough up to that boundary, to the guest, it feels like you're closer than you are. We did a lot of pop and startles, more than usual, because we're kind of fairly theatrical, but we kind of reined that back in. We had some mic'd characters so that they could have a greater presence in the room without being up in their faces. The vampires probably took it the hardest, but they adapted. There was some upset in the vampire manor. Oh.
The vampires can truly say that COVID sucks. So.
See what he did there, kids? Yeah. Well, yeah, I found that fascinating when Skix was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a haunt," and COVID just started. So, yeah, it was super cool. But Pete, were you going to talk about maybe some of the things you're going to be bringing to the site in the coming year?
Sure. So just a little bit of background for myself. Not only am I a haunter, I've been a haunter for about 30 some odd years now, but I'm also a scholar and a teacher. I'm a college professor, and I actually teach a history of horror class, which I've had guest lecturers like David J. Scull, who has written many fabulous books on the history of Hollywood and so forth. We even had Dr. Robin Means Coleman join us to discuss the Black experience and inclusion within the horror circuit, which is a big thing for me. But also, Norm has invited me to join the team to start writing articles about bits of history, the philosophy of horror, the history of horror, and kind of dig a little bit deeper, as they say, in order to find little odds and ends that you never knew were connected in the horror world. So keep your eyes open for some articles. My New Year's thing that I always do is I read EC Comics. I'm a big fan of good old Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror, and Jack Davis is one of my absolute favorites. But just a little tidbit that I didn't know earlier this year, but I incorporated into my class, is that the serial killer Albert Fish is very responsible for the birth of Tales from the Crypt. That and the radio show The Witch's Tale. Al Feldstein and William Gaines were youngsters when Albert Fish, otherwise known as the Brooklyn Vampire, was caught and put on trial. It was one of the very first criminal trials put on radio, as a matter of fact. And while they were tuning in, all of the gruesome, horrible details, I'll let you guys Google it. It's a nice festive night tonight, so don't want to talk about that. But I'll let you Google that. Just to quote Albert Fish, "I like children, they're yummy." And I'll just leave it at that. But anyhow, they apparently listened to that, and the person who was called by the defense attorney to help out with the defense for Albert Fish was none other than Frederick Wertham, a psychologist from Munich, Germany. And Frederick Wertham basically declared that he was completely insane. And this Frederick Wertham would later change comics as we know it by writing a very infamous book called Seduction of the Innocent, which was actually one of the main reasons that Tales from the Crypt was actually torn down by the Senate subcommittee meeting led by Eustis Kefauver. And only William Gaines was brave enough to stand up against censorship and defend EC Comics at the time. And there is a rumor that at one point the two men were actually left in the hallway by themselves, and heaven only knows what that conversation was.
Okay.
So that
I have
was
a question. I have a question. Remy.
Yeah. Hi.
Albert Fish is the goat.
The greatest of all time. I don't know. It's what the kids are saying these
Copy
days.
that. I was like, goat? What the?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Fish
Very good.
inspired so many cultural serial killer stories. Just, I mean, if you trace his influence everywhere.
Fish is pretty much the equivalent of Freddy Krueger, and you have Ed Gein, who's very much Leatherface, etc., etc. Like all the big boys of splatter tend to have their origins with these older serial killers.
So with these 4 horror fiends, which 3 horror films did Ed Gein inspire?
Well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's a big one. Psycho.
Yep.
Silence of the Lambs.
That's
Deranged. Silence of the Lambs. I
No.
was going to put in Deranged, but that's our Christmas story connection for today.
Oh, see, we like to wrap it all into a little bow. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So, fun. Yeah, fun. Just fun. I love the morbidity of it all. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so let's bring the entire family back in, shall we?
Sure.
Shall we bring all the kids back into the pool? Oh, here we are, all of us, every last one. All that a free subscription to StreamYard will allow. Anyway, so predictions for the coming year.
I don't think that's safe.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah. I could just, what if I predict like horrible things and then it ends up being a sick year? But
yeah, my pessimism is pointing towards nothing good. More of the same bullshit, but
I mean, we have a vaccine. That's cool.
That's nice.
Are you a doctor? Then get to the back of the line.
Yeah. No, I'm probably going to be the last.
Lindsay, you're muted, honey.
Oh, yeah, I was
There you are.
laughing. I didn't want to be rude. I want to be positive and think that it's going to be a really good year for cinema, because either we'll find out alternatives. The drive-in will make a resurgence. We'll get to see some awesome films at the drive-in. Independent filmmakers, we saw the rise of them in 2020. And maybe in 2021 they'll continue, or maybe somebody was inspired by something they saw in 2020 and will go out and make an awesome film for us to watch. Please. So that's what I'm hopeful for. I don't know about the rest of the stuff, but I'm hoping for good movies.
And Rick, anything?
Sure. Well, obviously the Midsummer team really misses everybody, and we miss the community, and we are heavy into discussion about next summer's show, and it is our full intention to bring it back bigger than it's ever been, and really give this community what everybody's starving for at this point, and just completely do it up and turn Long Beach upside down. So we are knee deep in planning and discussing already, and I'm already talking to the haunters in the Hall of Shadows. They're raring to go. They're chomping at the bit, and it's going to be, knock on wood, it's going to be a fantastic 5th anniversary for us.
Fantastic.
Eric, Amantha, what do we have lined up for the Screaming Room? Speaking of Midsummer Scream.
Well, first of all, it's Wally and his hideously malformed wart.
There we go.
That is the name of the film.
Yes.
You guys, it's really good.
The Screaming Room, we're continuing to move forward on watching all the films and going through we're at the difficult, really hard part of this process where we're starting to craft the blocks, and it's so hard to have to move things out of the blocks to make room for other stuff.
We have watched, well, over the past like 4 days or so, we have watched a lot of shorts, to determine where they would go within the Screaming Room blocks, and then, like Eric was saying, we just like within our blocks. But we have watched, you have the good and you have the bad, And, we have watched a lot of good stuff lately.
We've had a lot
We've
of good
had
stuff
a lot of
submitted
good
this
stuff
year.
submitted and really struggling with figuring out how to fit all of this in.
It seems like the submissions are getting better and better.
Oh, absolutely.
My goodness, there have been some fantastic shorts that we just need to figure out how to show them when it comes to Midsummer.
So we're going to need to expand the screaming room. We're going to need to run
Rick,
it for a full
since
week.
you're here, can we chat about that?
We're going to need to run it for a full week, and we're going to need to do 2-hour blocks, 2 to 3 hour blocks for each category, I think. And then we should be okay.
Yeah.
We'll at least be able to get everything in.
Yes. Exactly. I was just looking. We've had, what was it? 46 hours worth of submissions.
Yes, 46 hours worth of submissions. And
we have enough room for maybe 10.
Yeah,
maybe 10 hours worth.
You guys, this is
wow.
Yeah, that's
crazy,
what's
but
happening.
it's very exciting. We've had a good time watching stuff, and we're really much looking. So predictions for 2021 is that we're going to have an outstanding year at Midsummer with the Screaming Room.
Yeah, you're not gonna want to miss a single block.
Oh no, not at all.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
It's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Oh, you guys, Adrian, should we talk to them about your Sundance news?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, kind of hard because you're going too, but like, yeah.
Well, no. Your big news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So go.
Okay, so yeah, the last couple of years, Norm has been attending at Sundance, and then this upcoming one, a couple of us had submitted to a press initiative stipend that Sundance has to help the press attend the show. I guess it's supposed to go towards plane tickets and hotel usually, but since that's not happening in Park City this year, they're still doing it, luckily. And then I was one of the recipients for the 2020 press initiative for Sundance. So we'll be using that to.
You got how big of a stipend did you get?
Well, the cash is $1,000. I think they also said something about a VR set. I'm an old lady, so I don't really know what that is just yet. So I saved a couple of YouTube videos. I'm going to look for instructions because Sundance is coming up end of January. That's when that's starting. So you can follow our reviews on Twitter, HorrorBuzz _Horror_Buzz. We'll be posting our reviews as the festival is unfolding. That's end of January into beginning of February. So that's coming up pretty soon.
That's awesome. Yay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good. Woo.
We're doing big things.
Yeah. Super proud of Adrian. So that's it, guys. This is it. This is the end of the year. We're a couple of days away from the end of 2020.
We made it.
The year's so bad they had to name it twice.
Why does everybody think that like our problems are going to expire on January 1st?
I don't. But I feel like it's a line of demarcation.
Yeah. I'm just being cynical. I totally agree.
I think for sure we definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not the train coming.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it were a train.
I see a period of transformation all the way through, because I feel like this is the time where everybody's been looking deep within and learning and growing, frankly. So I see education is a big step forward for all of us, and we're all going to be learning some new tricks. All of us haunters, all of us filmmakers, all of us writers, we're all going to be learning something new out of all of this. And I don't, like we all talk about, let's go back to normal. I think it's going to be a new normal, and I think it's going to be a pretty good one. So I
actually think it's going to be better. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have had the time to research how to do this HorrorBuzz Live thing. There wouldn't have been an explosion of VR entertainment. There wouldn't have. It's only going to expand the options. Sure. And something else really interesting that I was talking to a friend about was that. So, as a horror fan, what one does is falls asleep to morbid things on YouTube. And I looked up other pandemics and the history of pandemics. And because as horror fans, we face our fears and we confront them and we tackle them. So the bubonic plague happened 3 separate times. And the last time, the Renaissance happened. Okay. So and then Spanish flu wrought the Roaring 20s. So it's a fair guess that things might be better after this all settles down.
Oh, there's going to be, like, once most people are vaccinated, or almost everybody's vaccinated, there's going to be, like, a full-on bacchanal worldwide, and people are just going to be drinking and fucking in the streets because they haven't been able to for years.
Hi.
Not here in Utah.
Oh my God! Welcome to the HorrorBuzz crew.
I'm just trying to stay positive.
You're terribly silent up in that center square up there. Rick?
I'm kind of speechless. I'm thinking, well, they're not going to be doing that along Colorado Boulevard here for the Rose Parade.
And I certainly will be able to
sure.
monetize this video. But go ahead.
Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, because it's the end of the year. Who cares?
You didn't tell me there were... Okay.
No, I just like I was saying. I do think we are at a turning point, and we're seeing those vaccinations roll out. And let's talk about the size of that freaking needle. Jesus Christ, that's a nightmare, right? So, but I think it's great. I think it's a turning point, and obviously things don't magically become better because midnight comes and it's 2021. Things don't magically become better because January 20th at noon comes. Not that I'm counting down the seconds or anything, but we are at a point now where we can really start to have hope, I think, for the new year in so many regards, in so many different ways. I work in the themed entertainment industry, and my industry is just obliterated right now, and so it's very, very hard. And of course, I was pinched in that too. I'm not above any of that. So it's been very hard. It's been very, very hard. This is the hardest year of my life. And I'm not alone. The reason that I'm not freaking out is that I know that I am not alone, and it's a very, very big boat with millions and millions and more than millions of people that are having the same struggles. And this is a worldwide thing. It's not a Pasadena thing. It's not an Orange County thing. It's not a New York thing. It's a village in the Netherlands. I mean, it's a hamlet in Germany. Everybody is experiencing singularity, which is crazy to wrap your head around, right? So, but I think that as a race, as a human race, we do have hope, I think, and we see this as a turning point. And like Peter and the others have said, I think that better things come out of this, right? I think that certainly things do return to the way that we have expected them to return back to. Certainly conventions better return to the way that we expect conventions to be.
Trust that they will.
Yeah, and I think theme parks will the same way too. And but I do think that there will be a new level of awareness. I will not be one of those that is like going to be forever wearing a mask. Thank you very much. But no, I think that we have been educated and we have learned. And God, if we've learned anything throughout this ordeal, it's just to really not only take care of ourselves and love ourselves more, it's really to reconnect and really find your center with the people in your life that truly do matter and truly do mean the most to you. I think that's been the big takeaway of this year and this entire event, is that when it comes down to it, life isn't about not Scary Farm. It's not about Midsummer Scream. It's not about the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. It's about just being present with those in your very, very tight inner circle. That is what we have at the end of the day, and that's the only thing at the end of the day that we can grasp and hang on to. And so I think that we all have recentered, and hopefully a lot of us have recentered that way. And just as a race, we emerge better for it.
Well, I don't
so
have
inspired now.
I don't have faith in humans.
You're right. You're totally right. I
don't have faith in
very
humans, but
bored.
I have faith in the horror community and the Halloween community.
Yeah.
Yeah, we better have it together by Halloween. I'm gonna be really sad if we can't go out.
Oh, I will tear shit up.
Yeah.
I will be so
Everyone
angry.
wear your mask. Wear your fucking mask.
Thank you.
Candy cannons. That's all there is to it. Just candy cannons. Just drive through and just here you go.
You know what? How about mask cannons?
Ooh.
Oh,
How about
that's a
that
great
one?
idea.
I once knew a fellow who went to Burning Man and got tired of all the people walking around without pants and invented a pants cannon and would fire used blue jeans at people saying, "Yo, put them on," you know, and bam, they would hit them and knock
Oh
them down.
my!
Oh my god! When you
So
first
a
started
mask
that-
cannon is not out of the off the table. We can make this happen. So
When you first started that, I thought you were going to go into a limerick.
I thought it was another man from
there once was a man with a pants cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was going with it, and then you didn't rhyme, and I was like, okay, this is a real thing.
I love that it's real though. That's so much better.
Yeah.
Oh heavens, we have got
I'm
so.
still gonna
we-
wear my mask after we get all vaccinated. I'm still gonna walk around with a mask on even when it's good to go.
You know what? I don't
For a
know
while, but
that
not for
I
everything.
will,
Like,
but
don't
I will
breathe.
get. I will get vaccinated, but I, as Rick said, I will be far more conscientious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's always good.
so here we are, kids. HorrorBuzz Live. This is what we do. There's going to
I'm
be
having
so
a
many.
great time. I don't know about you guys. I'm having an awesome time.
Well,
Yeah,
me
I don't
too.
drink often, so this is like
I was so surprised that you rolled in, Adrian, because you're like, you know, oh, I'm so shy, and I'm like, because she does a lot of reviews, good ones, and we need to get her on. And I
I
was
talk
so
through my fingers usually. I don't like speak audibly.
But
Okay.
Adrian, you did such an outstanding job. Like, we were very engaged in everything you had to say and very much enjoyed watching you. So
yes,
you're
And
a
I
love
fan
you.
when it comes to this.
you're all right.
Love
So
you.
with that, everybody, with that, hold tight, and we're going to get through this, and we are trimming this broadcast up. Thank you very much to everybody that showed up. Thank you so much to Rick, Pete. Thank you so much for coming on. It's sincerely an honor to be working with you. Thank you so much, Skix. Thank you, Eric and Amantha. Thank you, Adrian, Remy, Lindsay. You guys, here's the thing. HorrorBuzz wouldn't be anything without any of you, and nor would it be anything without any of the fans or the people reading it. So all that we wish is that you stay safe and you remain healthy and get through the new year. And that's it. So sayonara, guys. This is the end of 2020, and hopefully we will have a better year ahead. Take care.